I get my hands underneath that and I twist.
So you're getting defensive because I'm criticizing your tent.
No, I'm not. It's not
You
my
know
town.
LA
I just live
sucks.
here.
You must go to New York and go, holy fuck.
No, that's ridiculous.
What is this,
too.
Disneyland of fun?
I don't think it's a good idea to have that many people jammed into a place, whether it's here or there. I don't like it.
Well,
I
you
like
definitely don't have that
Seattle.
problem here.
I like
You have
older.
person, sidewalk, empty cup, fucking tumbleweed. Person, fucking abandoned car. Look at palm trees. They're not even. What? That's not a tree. It's a
Excuse me, miss?
disgusting, hideous plant.
Miss, I'm trying to listen to the Joe Rogan Experience. Stop talking!
You go to like a carpet store in West Hollywood and you go, yo, this must be abandoned. The paint is chipping off. No one likes this place. No, it's actually super expensive. Yeah, but in New York, you can't even park your fucking car. They have these. No, you don't need a car. You take the subway. I am an American and I enjoy auto. Okay, then take your car when you go out to the country to hunt. You're only fucking 30 minutes from awesome forests and fucking shooting bears. You mean over there? Up there?
I shot an elk an hour and a half away from me.
Well, that's pretty much Earth. Earth?
An hour and a half away from elk.
I mean, maybe not Europe, but as far as, you know, where you would want to live, you're usually an hour and a half. LA sucks?
Yeah. No, I don't think LA is ideal, but I think LA has a lot of great things. I think the real problem is with the population. I think whenever you have, also I noticed San Diego, man. I went over to San Diego. San Diego, yeah, 12:30, and it took us, it was 3 hours.
This ain't your barrio, eh?
Yeah, I mean, it's really a 2-hour drive. San Diego drive.
You know the chapines? We get down.
San Diego.
Oh, shit. Light as shit.
I don't mean stinks, literally.
Yo, that's a long-ass ride, dog.
That's a shitty. What's very conservative.
I like the fucking wheels, that's it.
A lot of military people, a lot of being.
That's my fucking car, wasn't it? Jesus Christ. I'm moving to Park City. Oh my god! Oh my god! That's unbelievable! Holy shit!
2050 to gas. And 45 with 3 kids.
Yeah, look at those fucking pieces of shit. Where you gonna go?
I don't think there's
God
no
damn
reason
it.
to have
I
blind
don't have
police
fucking
particular
any ammo.
spot.
Two rats at once, practically. Fucking saying no to myself.
Did you see the video of the rat killing the pigeon?
Oh, Anthony had that on his show, yeah.
I didn't know they hunted. I had no idea rats hunted this pigeon.
And his neck.
Yeah, and chased him, like lost him for a bit, and then chased him and got him again. Like, it's crazy.
Bombs everywhere.
Yeah.
Fucking, and you know what drives me nuts about New York? Sorry, pre-2015, Gav. These fucking kids dancing on the subway for money, and they're swinging around the poles. You know what this? No. They fucking...
So, like, you get on the subway,
minding your business.
I'm about to do a show.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Oh,
Boom, boom, psh, boom, and they get out, and the shit they're doing isn't impressive. They're swinging around a pole on the train, and you go, that's a stripper pole, faggot. You're, not as good as the strippers I usually see. You're a loser. And then they'll do shit like they'll go upside down and slide down it slowly, and you can see the people just going, oh. And they go to strip club, they can see way better shit. And then they do this thing with their hat, where they flip it and
Motherfuckers.
flop it on their head like that's hard.
Right.
Like if we were drinking outside, no baseball hat, or the bench they're
You
keeping
fucking shot my wheel
If we were
off.
drinking at an outside bar, and you did that, I would go,
Everyone will suffer
It's
now.
annoying.
You can actually
I
climb in.
didn't know that was going on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's a thing. Most people don't know this.
You're educating a lot of folks.
They will kick you in the head too.
Really?
by accident. Yeah.
Oh, when they're spinning around.
Oh, you look like a likely target.
Fucking guys start in me, and they fucking touch me, they're all going down. Wow. It's like
My car is
7
parked.
15-year-old New Yorker impression.
It's old school
Because
Irish
of you.
Hell's Kitchen guy.
Hell's Kitchen, yeah.
Wimpy
That's
people.
These guys are fucking. Because when they say shit like that,
Oh, no.
On the subways because you always hear about the bad incidents, but every day millions of people are going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
There's no crime in New York. There's a murder a day, all East New York. All Bushwick, Bloodscripts. Most of the gangs are Hispanic.
Only one a day?
One a day, on average.
That's not
A
that
little more,
much.
maybe 400 a year, but yeah.
Well, West Hollywood only had one murder this whole year. Happened in a comedy store a couple nights ago. Yeah.
Who was it? Don Barris?
He killed on stage. No, there was a guy who apparently wasn't even a comic, and he was out on the patio, and someone walked up to him and shot him 6 times in front of everybody. Yeah.
Maybe a brutal debt.
They think it was gang related. It's
Was
all
he black?
speculation. Yeah, and it was they had a black comedy night, urban in quotes, urban
Right.
comedy night, and they'd had some issues with gang members there before, allegedly.
Oh, he probably made fun of a dude.
I don't think so. He wasn't a comic.
Oh.
Yeah, they think he just was a guy that they knew he was going to be there.
Oh,
and
so it was just
someone-
Compton culture visiting
yeah,
West Hollywood,
Oh.
and I was seeing what they go through every day.
probably.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. But I found it amazing that was the only murder in Hollywood for a year.
Wasn't it all gays in Hollywood, West Hollywood?
That area, like below that, is very gay. Not all gays, but a lot of straight people move to those areas because they're super safe. It's where the gays live. It's like they take care of them.
Oh, gays are happy to get laid a lot.
That makes a big difference. See, that kills your argument. All gays no problem.
I never said gays have a problem with it. I
Yeah,
think
but
gay
they're
marriage is a tiny contingent of bitchy gays. Most gays don't give a fuck.
Now, we never figured out what did Mary get
What
upset
just
about.
happened?
It was after the show.
He said the problem with education is systemic.
Right.
A word I hate more than the word batshit crazy.
You don't hate.
I hate the word batshit. What the fuck does that mean?
Well, bad shit is really dangerous. Guano?
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, there's a funny
Oh,
story.
you're making me hate the word less.
There was these scientists, and there's a particular cave in Africa. So they had set up to make this video of these bats coming out of the cave, because millions and billions of bats on a nightly basis come out of this cave. So they set up the cameras. What they didn't anticipate is that these bats, when they come out of the cave, they release their bowels instantly. So they were literally covered in bat shit, like swarms and millions of bats shitting all over them, and they developed these hemorrhagic viruses, these horrible diseases, bleeding from their eyes.
Whoa!
Just horrific, and they were dead within a week. And they don't know what the fuck killed them, and they had to contain
I don't hate
them.
batshit crazy anymore.
Yeah,
Thank you for
bad
that.
shit is dangerous.
Can I test again?
Yeah, go ahead. We're gonna wrap this up soon anyway. As soon as you come back. No, I don't do reads during the show. It's falling apart. A little bit. Falling apart with his bladder.
He's a little off on teacher wages.
Okay, let's see what it is. Of course he is.
Closer to 15 to 20 bucks average is the UN.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah. Median hourly rate by job. Yeah, I didn't believe that. But $60 an hour, that seems kind of silly. It's really interesting because he's a very smart guy, but it's almost like he's purposely like sabotaging real intellectual debate. Like,
Kind of why I said Fox News earlier. It's just like they're making points to make a point, and then they want to argue the point.
well, he gets into it and then he sabotages it with humor. Like, he fucks it up, and like it's almost like there's a strategic use of the word faggot. Hey, look at the actual statistics for how much teachers get paid. It's a lot less. $11 for a substitute teacher, $14 for preschool, elementary school $15 an hour, high school $20 an hour. Imagine getting imagine getting $20.
I don't support that with my ass. Look this up.
Well, have a seat so we can hear you on the microphone. Okay, get over here. This is just fine. What is the source?
ACL.com.
Keep it up there. Where is this? Where are they getting this from? Payscale.com.
Polling of
1,200 people from
Look
all
it
over the
up.
United
You'll
States.
get totally different numbers. The
Keep
teachers'
looking it up.
lobby is the most powerful union in the world. They fund both sides on Capitol Hill.
So it's a
more than anyone.
conspiracy. This is like black helicopters, and 9/11 was an inside job, and then teachers
Not
are really
quite,
getting millions
but
of dollars.
almost. They act like the mafia. Like you will get your windows smashed when you fuck with the what do they call the
What brings you in
NEA?
today?
So you guys, anyway, back to the Mark Maron thing. You guys had a problem with the word systemic and bat crazy.
Oh, sorry,
bat
right.
shit crazy.
So I
And
said,
then-
he said, it's not just one thing.
right. I agree with him
And
in that sense.
I go, yes, there is just one thing.
And what is that one thing?
Make it possible to fire a fucking public school teacher.
That would help. That would certainly help.
That's the end. And that's what
Appreciate-
happens in Harlem with charter schools.
Right.
They can get fired. And Harlem's doing awesome with that just one little thing.
But what did he get upset about? It was the transphobic
Oh, I'm
thing.
guessing that's why he didn't like the show.
Oh,
But
just that?
as far as verifiable, it was in the tank, the show, and then when my transphobia controversy exploded,
Because you wrote that article.
his people, whatever, said, we're not airing this show because judging by your views on trans people, the interview's now incomplete. So I guess it was like saying, we interviewed the head of the KKK about fruits and vegetables, and then found out later he's the head of the KKK. This would look stupid to put out talking about food the whole time. Or say I shot the president after. You go, wait a minute, we talked to the guy who killed the president, and we didn't mention shooting the president.
So, because of the fact that your article came out after the interview, he couldn't just release the interview because it didn't discuss this very important topic, you felt?
That's his side, yes.
That seems like it's not that important a topic except to those people, or if you're talking about that subject. I don't think that the subject of transgender people is like an integral part of who you are.
Or call me. Or have your people call me, and I'm in LA all the time.
Yeah, or do an addendum.
Say the update.
right.
Or say, hey, I didn't know you were this weird. You don't think it's cool to cut your cock off? Let's discuss.
But you did not think it's cool. Like, do you think people should be able to do whatever they want?
Yes, but we're getting back to this gay marriage thing. When you normalize transgendered, we end up in a situation where kids are taking hormone blockers to prevent puberty. We're clapping
Well,
like
that'll stop
fucking
a lot of
losers
nasty
when a little
stuff
boy, a
from
little gay
killing you.
boy, gets female estrogen.
But when should it be okay? Like with Bailey J. You look at Bailey J. Doesn't she look like that's like
Bailey J is a
someone-
mentally ill gay man.
a mentally ill gay man?
Whom I like.
Uh-huh.
Great guy.
What's mentally ill?
He doesn't think he's a man. That's a gender dysphoria. That is well documented as a mental disorder.
Well,
But the thing I like about him is he can cut his tits off when he realizes what's going on and be normal. There's no old Bailey J, you realize. There's no like, I am Bailey J. I've been gardening all day, my knight in shining out.
No, they don't. What do? They ice
Commit
themselves?
suicide, they fucking
They go back.
become a meth head and they get stabbed in a bad drug deal, or
Is that
they remove their
some
tits
would
and
argue that
just
that's
be a
because,
fag. It's almost like
but they want to be a woman.
you can't be a woman, you can't be a bat, you can't be a giraffe. Becoming a woman is not something you get off a shelf. What's the matter with homosexuals?
But they don't want to be homosexual. Like a lot of them. Like
Well,
here's
you
a
are.
perfect example. The one that we were talking about, the MMA fighter. She's now a lesbian. She still likes women. Like she was a man for 30 years and then became a woman who still likes women.
She is a wildly mentally disturbed gay. Wait, straight.
Straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
She's
I'm
a
saying.
fucking crazy
You
straight
racked up
dude.
some more
He's a
alienation
crazy man.
rewards points.
And that's a great
Gender
example. I'm glad you
pronouns.
brought that up because
Yeah.
you're saying, what's your problem? Why do you hate all this shit? And I go,
Mhm.
obviously I don't fucking care. Like if you're
But
on a mountain and you do something to yourself, you can cut your face off. There was just a woman in the news, she decided she wanted to be blind.
I
And
know,
she
I
had
saw
a physician put shit in her,
Isn't that insane?
chemicals in her eyes, she's blind.
Fucking insane.
I don't want to make that illegal, but I want to also say, let's not normalize this, because
Right.
someone who is kind of dumb and crazy and thinks they want to be blind, now you've made it okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the MMA fight is a perfect example of the problem with this whole live and let live thing, because now we have a dude with tits and a fake cunt kicking the shit out of chicks.
Well, there was a really funny time where this guy was, when Rachel Dolezal came out as transracial, this guy was
Right.
supporting transracial, and he was right. He was joking. He was trolling, and there were so many people that were arguing back and forth on his Twitter page. He's a comic, I guess, from England, and he was calling it wrong skin, hashtag wrong skin, but it was hilarious to watch these semantics arguments. Here's one that you'll find funny.
Okay.
I got in an argument with someone about the MMA thing, and about the woman who was a man for 30 years that became a woman. And she said she was always a woman. And I said, really? I said, even when she was a man having sex with another woman and making a baby. And she said, even then.
Yeah, I said
I'm like, that's
insane.
adorable.
I said that about Caitlyn Jenner. So that means Kris Jenner was raped. Because she thought she was having sex with a man.
Right, deception.
And it was a woman.
Deception.
So
right.
That's a crime, I assume.
It is in New Jersey.
Especially in the definition of rape today, where if you regret it, it's rape.
Yes, and if you look at them funny after it's over, like, that was bullshit. That's rape.
God, if regretting sex was rape, I would be doing 10 best seconds.
Well, you know the whole thing that's going on with the drinking. Where the man always gets accused of rape if two people are drinking together.
Right.
If the woman is drunk and is doing one of your favorite things, drunk driving, and she kills people, she's responsible for her actions. But if a woman is drunk and she has sex with a man, apparently she's
a great example of what we're talking about. Because in the MMA situation, you lied and said woman or man, and now you have a man beating the shit out of a woman.
Well, she didn't lie. She didn't disclose a man. That's how she looked at it. She said it's a medical condition.
Exactly. So you lied and you fucking got a chick beaten up. And then with the drinking thing, you go, wait a minute, so all drunk sex is rape? Now we have, like, there was a woman who was kicked off a flight for joining the Mile High Club.
Really?
Yeah, because she was belligerent and she was fucking some dude in the bathroom and screaming, like wasted.
My kind of girl.
And then she gets in a fight with the staff, the stewards or whatever they're called, waitresses in the sky, and she gets arrested because she was fist fighting them and screaming, and you go, well, wait a minute, you were raped. You were drunk. You were drunk having sex, so you should be charging that guy. And when you reinvent the system and change all the definitions, you have to take into account the victims here. Like,
well, they've kind of abandoned the alcohol thing outside of colleges. Feminists were pushing that for a few years ago.
Right.
They were trying to push it nationwide, but then it became preposterous because you realize everyone's a fucking rapist because the whole country's filled with rapists because socially people drink and that's how they wind up fucking. So the people under the influence that were having sex, it's like 80%. It's something nut.
That's why we're here. I mean, I wouldn't be alive if drunk sex was rape or illegal. But when you do all this shit and you reboot the system, what you're actually doing is trivializing reality. And if you say drunk sex is rape, some fucking woman who was raped at knife point by a guy in a ski mask is now your peer. You've just trivialized that. And when you say Rachel Dolezal is black, you've trivialized every black person's experience who grew up with real racism. Mm-hmm. And when you say that Caitlyn Jenner is a woman, you've trivialized womanhood. Now, like this woman who gave birth and had, she's a grandmother and there's a family reunion and she's the matriarch that basically built all these 60 people, she's the same as this fucking guy who put some fake tits, Bailey J. That's sexist. You've trivialized it.
Well, it's certainly a weird thing. I don't know if you've trivialized it, because I don't think it diminishes real women in any way, shape, or form. Not in my eyes.
Okay, I'm a woman. We have been suffering. We are oppressed. We get raped. And then some dude in a wig goes, yeah, it's fucking insane. We are getting harassed on the street. And she's looking at him going, well, I was actually really raped. So was I. I had drunk sex. Well, you just shat on her whole experience with your bullshit wig.
Your bullshit wig.
I don't know if you do, but I see what you're saying. I just
think
think
not? Why don't I put on blackface and go on the Million Man March and go, yo, this shit is outrageous, man.
Well, what about the guy who's one of the guys from Black Lives Matter?
Sean
King, who's white.
Like, I feel like I'm the same liberal kid I was when I was a punk teenager.
Right.
I don't like Rachel Dolezal and Sean King because they're racist.
Racist?
Yes.
But they identify with black people.
They are trivializing the black experience. Yeah. I don't like Islam because they're sexist. I don't like fucking feminists because they deprive women of the joy of having babies and they trivialize what it is to be a real woman. Their whole sort of anti-Southern Belle thing is anti-woman. I'm still a feminist, anti-racist, fucking punk rocker.
You're a feminist?
I'm a feminist in the sense that I, as Donald Trump says, I adore women. I like women. I
think that's the definition of a feminist, right?
A feminist is someone who
That definition
attaches
has been-
merit to femininity, to women.
Yeah, that's not how they use it, though.
I know. Today it means you're a feminist if you think men are women. You think women are badass and kick-ass. They're in kick-ass too, and they're doing circle kicks.
You know what my favorite is? When they say that if you are a feminist, there's no need for any other sort of equality, gender equality issue, because feminism addresses all of it. So there's no need to have men's rights issues, because once feminism is completely achieved, once female rights are equal to men's rights, then they will address all the other rights. With men, right? And she goes, yes, we do. And I go, I can't a feminist standing outside of prison with placards going, stop the raping of these guys. Like when they say that more men are being
so they're
raped
lying
by
when they
women.
say they're humanists. They don't care if it's men.
Well, I think a lot of when you look at it through the just constantly shitting all of these bitches. They develop that sort of
Window.
That's a very small dude with a big ass. Fucking a fat 12-year-old boy. We have women talk about unattainable expectations for men. That's gays and women doing They're pretty cool. Like, grow your hair long, wear high heel shoes. Even if you're fat, we'll put on some lingerie and we'll work it out. Do you think that this what's going on with a lot of this is that there's a lot of people that are they have these standards that they